How much of your life have you delayed because you kept waiting for the perfect sign, the perfect feeling, the perfect moment to believe it's possible? So many people don't fail at manifestation because they lack power. They fail because they overthink every step. They question the timing, analyze every delay, and keep digging up the seed they already planted just to check if it's growing. But the truth is, manifestation begins to move the moment you stop chasing and start trusting. The moment you decide it's already done, your energy changes. Your mind becomes calmer, your heart becomes lighter, and your actions become stronger. You stop begging life for permission and start walking like what you asked for is already on its way. Today, I want to remind you that the miracle doesn't come through stress, confusion, or endless thinking. It comes through certainty. It comes when you release the need to control every detail and simply assume that what belongs to you is already yours. Have you ever noticed how the things you want most often feel farther away the more you obsess over them? It's strange, isn't it? The more you think about money, love, success, healing, or opportunities, the more it can seem like they are slipping through your fingers. You replay every detail in your mind, wondering when it will happen, how it will happen, why it has not happened yet. You check for signs, compare your journey to others, and question whether you are doing something wrong. But what if the real thing standing between you and your manifestation is not the outside world at all? What if it is the noise inside your own mind? Overthinking blocks the flow because it keeps you trapped in the energy of not having. Every time you obsess over where it is, you silently affirm that it is missing. Every time you panic about timing, you feed the belief that it is delayed. Every time you analyze every little movement, you tell yourself that things are uncertain, and life has a powerful way of responding to the story you repeat most often. If your inner story is full of fear, doubt, and impatience, then that is the vibration you carry into each day. Think about planting a seed in the ground. Once the seed is planted, you do not dig it up every morning to see if roots are forming. You do not stand over the soil in frustration demanding proof. You water it, protect it, and trust the process. But many people treat their desires differently. They set an intention once, then immediately start uprooting it with doubt. They ask for love, then think about loneliness all day. They ask for abundance, then speak constantly about lack. They ask for success, then obsess over failure before they have even begun. The mind can be a beautiful tool, but when it becomes uncontrolled, it creates resistance. Overthinking is not preparation. It often disguises itself as being responsible, realistic, or careful, but many times it is simply fear wearing a smarter outfit. It convinces you that if you think hard enough, worry long enough, or calculate enough possibilities, you can control the outcome. But peace never comes from trying to force life into your timeline. There is a difference between clarity and obsession. Clarity feels calm, it feels certain, it knows what it wants and moves with confidence. Obsession feels heavy, it feels desperate, it keeps circling the same thoughts without resolution. When you are clear, you can set your intention and continue living your life. When you are obsessed, you pause your happiness until the result arrives, and that pause can last months or years if you let it. Many people believe manifestation requires constant focus every second of the day, but true manifestation is less about strain and more about alignment. It is about becoming the version of yourself who naturally expects good things. It is about holding the vision without squeezing it. It is about trusting enough to let life breathe. Imagine how different your energy becomes when you stop asking, "When will it happen?" and start saying, "It is already moving." Feel the difference between "Why is this taking so long?" and "Everything is unfolding at the right time." One creates tension, the other creates openness. One closes doors internally, the other invites possibilities. Overthinking also steals the joy of the present moment. While you are mentally living in future worries, life is happening now. Opportunities are appearing now. Inspiration is speaking now. People are crossing your path now. But if your attention is trapped in fear, you can miss the very doors opening in front of you. Sometimes what we seek arrives quietly, and an anxious mind is too loud to notice it. This does not mean you must never think deeply or make plans. It means you must know when thinking has crossed into self-sabotage. Ask yourself honestly, is this thought helping me move forward or is it keeping me stuck? Is this reflection bringing peace or is it feeding panic? If it is draining your spirit, it is probably not guidance, it is resistance. The answer is not to fight your mind with more force. The answer is gentleness. Breathe. Return to your intention. Remind yourself that not every detail needs your supervision. Some things are meant to grow in silence. Some blessings need space before they bloom. Your job is not to control the entire path. Your job is to stay open, faithful, and available for what you asked for. You do not need to know every step before step one. You do not need proof before belief. You do not need guarantees before movement. Life has a way of meeting those who trust enough to keep walking. So if you have been exhausting yourself with endless thoughts, take this as your sign to loosen your grip. Stop measuring every day for evidence. Stop assuming delay means denial. Stop believing that worry makes things happen faster. It does not. Sometimes the fastest way to receive is to relax. Sometimes the clearest signal you can send to the universe is peace. And sometimes the greatest act of faith is simple: to ask, to believe, and then to let go. What if the one shift that could change your life is this simple? Stop asking for it and start living like it's already yours. Most people spend years chasing what they desire because they keep treating it like something distant. They speak about it as if it lives somewhere far away, outside their reach, outside their timing, outside their control. They say, I hope it happens. Maybe one day. I'm waiting for my turn. But every one of those words keeps the dream in the future. And the future is a place that never arrives if you keep sending your desire there. Assume it is already done. That is where the power begins. It does not mean pretending with empty words or ignoring reality in a careless way. It means choosing a new inner position. It means deciding that what you asked for has already been approved in the unseen, and now your job is to align with it. Instead of acting like someone who is lacking, you begin thinking like someone who is receiving. Instead of feeling forgotten, you begin feeling chosen. Instead of walking through life like a person waiting at the door, you walk in like your seat has already been reserved. Most people think manifestation starts with getting, but it actually starts with being. You do not become confident after success. You become confident first, and success responds. You do not feel worthy after love arrives. You feel worthy first, and love finds a home in that energy. You do not become abundant after money appears. You begin carrying abundance in your mindset, and opportunities start matching that state. The problem is, many people want visible evidence before they allow themselves to believe. They say, once I see movement, then I'll trust. But life often works in reverse. Trust creates movement. Belief opens doors. Inner certainty shifts how you speak, how you carry yourself, what you notice, what you accept, and what you reject. When your inner world changes, your outer world begins catching up. Think of someone who knows they are loved. They move differently. They do not beg for crumbs. They do not chase cold energy. They do not panic over every delayed text. Why? Because they already feel secure within themselves. Now think of someone who assumes success belongs to them. They take chances. They apply. They create. They recover from setbacks faster. They are not frozen by rejection because they believe the right opportunity is still theirs. This is the hidden magic of assuming it is already done. You stop reacting like a person in fear and start responding like a person in faith. That does not mean there will never be doubts. You are human. Some days your mind will question everything. Some mornings old fears will knock on the door. But the goal is not perfection. The goal is returning. Each time doubt appears, return to the assumption. Each time fear rises, return to the truth you chose. Each time reality looks slow, remind yourself that seeds grow underground before they break the surface. Imagine planting a tree and demanding fruit the next morning. You would call that unreasonable. Yet many people do this with their dreams every day. They set an intention, then panic if nothing changes in a week. They decide they are forgotten, unlucky, or failing. But some of the most important transformations happen invisibly first. Roots form before branches. Alignment happens before arrival. When you assume it is already done, patience becomes easier. You stop treating delays like disasters. You stop taking every quiet moment personally. You understand that timing is not always punishment. Sometimes timing is preparation. This mindset also changes how you speak. Instead of saying, "Nothing ever works for me," you begin saying, "Things are moving even if I can't see them yet." Instead of saying, "I'm scared it won't happen," you begin saying, "What is meant for me is already making its way." Those words matter because language shapes identity, and identity shapes action. You do not need to force happiness every second. You do not need fake smiles or endless positivity. You simply need steadiness, calm belief, quiet confidence, the kind that says, "I know what I asked for. I know who I am becoming. I know life is responding." And something beautiful happens when you live from that place. You become less desperate. You stop checking every corner for proof. You become available for joy now, not later. You notice opportunities you once ignored. You make choices from self-respect instead of fear. You become magnetic because peace is attractive. So if you are tired of chasing, let this be your reminder. The version of you who already has it thinks differently, feels differently, moves differently. Become that version now, not when it arrives, now. Stand taller, speak kinder to yourself, expect better, choose differently, protect your energy, keep showing up, let your life reflect the assumption you hold inside. Because sometimes the biggest breakthrough happens the moment you stop begging for what you want and start embodying the person who already knows it is theirs. Have you ever stood at the edge of your dream, ready to believe, only to pull back because you couldn't see how it would happen? That is where so many people lose momentum. They want guarantees before trust. They want proof before faith. They want the full map before taking the first step. But some of the greatest things in life never arrive with a detailed explanation. They arrive because someone kept moving, even when the road ahead was hidden. Trust the unseen process. Those four words can change everything, because not all progress is visible. Not every blessing announces itself before it comes. Not every transformation can be measured by what your eyes see today. Sometimes the most important movement is happening in places you cannot yet reach, in ways you cannot yet understand. Think about nature for a moment. A seed buried in darkness looks like nothing is happening. From the outside, the soil appears still, silent, empty. But beneath the surface, roots are stretching, life is forming, strength is building. If someone judged the seed too early, they would say it failed. But time reveals what impatience cannot understand. Your life often works the same way. There are seasons where it seems like nothing is changing. You pray, work, hope, visualize, plan, and yet the outside world looks the same. That is the moment many people quit. They assume silence means rejection. They mistake delay for denial. They believe that because they cannot see progress, progress does not exist. But unseen does not mean absent. There are opportunities forming right now that you do not know about, conversations happening that may lead to your next door opening, skills developing inside you through struggle, wisdom growing through disappointment, emotional strength being built through waiting. Sometimes life is arranging pieces behind the curtain while you stand in front of it wondering why nothing is happening. The problem is that we are trained to trust only what we can measure. We trust bank balances, messages, visible results, applause, timelines. But some of the most valuable forces in life cannot be touched at first. Love begins unseen. Confidence begins unseen. Healing begins unseen. A new identity begins unseen. Before anything becomes physical, it often starts as energy, decision, intention, and inner change. Trusting the unseen process does not mean sitting still and doing nothing. It means taking action without panic. It means continuing forward without needing constant reassurance. It means doing your part while releasing the need to control every outcome. You water the seed, but you do not force the bloom. Many people sabotage themselves because they demand evidence every day. They keep asking, "Where is it? Why not yet? What if it never comes?" And those questions drain energy. They turn faith into fear. They make the journey heavier than it needs to be. Imagine instead asking better questions. What if things are aligning right now? What if this pause is preparation? What if I am closer than I realize? Feel the difference. One set of questions closes the heart. the other keeps it open. Sometimes the unseen process is working on you more than it is working on your goal. Maybe the relationship has not arrived because self-worth is still being built. Maybe the opportunity is delayed because discipline is still growing. Maybe the success is taking time because character must become strong enough to hold it. We often ask for blessings, but forget that we must also become the person who can sustain them. There is wisdom in timing that the human mind does not always understand. We think sooner is always better. But not everything given early becomes a gift. Some things become burdens when received before readiness. Trust means believing that life can see what you cannot. And yes, trusting can be difficult when you are tired. It can be hard when prayers feel unanswered, when money feels tight, when loneliness lingers, when doors close. But trust is not the absence of emotion. Trust is choosing not to let emotion become your only guide. You can feel uncertain and still continue. You can feel discouraged and still believe. You can have questions and still move forward. The strongest people are not those who never doubt. They are those who refuse to live inside doubt. Look back on your own life. How many times did something make sense only in hindsight? How many closed doors later protected you? How many delays later redirected you? How many painful seasons shaped strengths you now depend on? The unseen process has likely carried you before, even when you did not realize it. So if you are in a season where nothing seems clear, do not rush to call it failure. If things feel slow, do not assume you are forgotten. If the path is uncertain, do not believe you are lost. Some chapters look confusing while you're inside them. Later they read like perfect preparation. Keep showing up. Keep doing the small things well. Keep caring for your mind. Keep honoring your vision. Keep walking with quiet faith. You do not need to see the whole staircase to take the next step. One day, what feels invisible now will become undeniable. What feels delayed now will make sense. What feels uncertain now may become the story you tell others about why they should never give up. Until then, trust what is growing in the dark. Trust what is moving behind the scenes. Trust that silence can still be sacred. Trust that unseen hands may be arranging what seen eyes cannot yet recognize. How many dreams have been ruined not because they were impossible, but because they were rushed? How many people gave up on something beautiful simply because it did not arrive on the day they expected? One of the greatest sources of pain is not always failure, it is attachment to timing. We decide how life should unfold, when it should happen, how fast it should come, and then we suffer when reality chooses a different schedule. Detach from timing. That advice sounds simple, but it can free your heart in ways you may not realize, because when you obsess over when, you stop enjoying now. You begin measuring your worth by deadlines. You compare your journey to people around you. You turn every delay into a personal rejection. And little by little, the joy of the dream gets replaced by the stress of the calendar. Many people say they want love, success, healing, money, peace, or purpose. But what they often want even more is control over the timeline. They want certainty that it will happen next week, next month, or by a certain age. They want guarantees. They want life to move according to plan. Yet life rarely asks permission before teaching patience. Think about fruit on a tree. If you force it before it ripens, it loses sweetness. If you pull it too early, it is not ready to nourish anyone. Timing matters in nature, and timing matters in life. Some blessings need space to mature. Some doors require you to become someone new before they open. Some answers arrive only after certain lessons have been learned. The problem is that impatience can make us abandon what was still growing. We quit businesses too early. We settle in relationships out of loneliness. We betray our values because we are tired of waiting. We panic and accept less simply because the clock feels loud. But the clock is not always telling the truth. Just because something has not happened yet does not mean it is not coming. Just because others seem ahead does not mean you are behind. Just because a season feels slow does not mean your life is stuck. Growth is not linear. Progress is not always visible. And timelines are often illusions created by comparison. Comparison is one of the biggest thieves of peace. You see someone engaged and you question your own love story. You see someone successful and you doubt your path. You see someone healed, thriving, moving quickly, and suddenly your own journey feels late. but you are comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel. You do not know their struggles, their sacrifices, their hidden costs, or the chapters still ahead. Your path has its own rhythm. Detaching from timing does not mean giving up on goals. It means releasing the emotional grip you have on exact dates. It means doing the work without making your happiness hostage to an outcome. It means saying, I still desire this deeply, but I refuse to let waiting destroy me. That mindset changes everything. When you are attached to timing, every day feels like a test. Every quiet moment feels threatening. Every closed door feels dramatic. But when you release timing, life becomes lighter. You can still pursue what matters while breathing easier. You can still dream while staying present. You can still hope without desperation. There is wisdom in delays that we often understand only later. Sometimes the job came late because your confidence needed to grow first. Sometimes the relationship was delayed because your standards needed to rise. Sometimes the opportunity waited because skills were still being built in silence. Sometimes the answer was postponed because you were being protected from something you could not yet see. We often think delay is punishment, but sometimes delay is mercy. Look back at your own life. Chances are there were things you once begged for that would have harmed you if received too soon. There were people you wanted who later proved wrong for you. There were paths you mourned losing that later led to better roads. At the time, it felt unfair. Later, it felt wise. This is why trust matters more than timing. You do not need to know the date to believe in the destination. You do not need a guarantee to stay committed. You do not need constant proof to keep faith. Your task is not to control the clock. Your task is to become ready, steady, and open. Use the waiting season well. Build discipline. Heal your wounds. Learn your craft. Strengthen your character, deepen your peace, grow into the version of yourself who can receive and sustain what you desire. Then, when the door opens, you will not only be excited, you will be prepared. There is also beauty available right now. Too many people postpone living until they arrive. They say, I'll be happy when, and place joy in the future. But life is happening in this breath, this day, this ordinary moment. There are sunsets now, laughter now, lessons now, friendships now, gratitude now. Do not miss your life while waiting for your life. So if you have been staring at the clock, exhausted by the wait, let this be your reminder. Your timing anxiety is not helping the process. It is only hurting your peace. Release the deadline. Keep the desire. Let go of the pressure. Keep the vision. Stop chasing dates and start becoming the person who is ready whenever it arrives. Because what is meant for you does not become less yours because it took longer. Sometimes the best things enter your life after you stop demanding they arrive on schedule and start trusting that they will arrive in season. What if the life you've been praying for begins the moment you decide to move like it already belongs to you? So many people wait for a miracle before they allow themselves to feel confident, peaceful, worthy, or secure. They say, once I get the job, then I'll believe in myself. Once love comes, then I'll feel chosen. Once money arrives, then I'll relax. But that way of living keeps power outside of you. It says the world must change first, and then you will change after. Yet some of the greatest transformations happen in reverse. Become the version who has it. That is where manifestation becomes real. Because before something fully arrives in your hands, it often needs to arrive in your identity. The future you desire is connected to a future version of you. Someone who thinks differently, carries themselves differently, makes wiser choices, and expects more from life. If you keep living as the old version of yourself while asking for a new reality, there will always be tension. Many people want abundance while still thinking like scarcity. They want healthy love while still tolerating disrespect. They want success while still doubting every move they make. They want peace while feeding chaos daily. They want confidence while speaking to themselves with cruelty. It is hard to receive a new chapter while emotionally living in the old one. Ask yourself honestly, if the life you wanted arrived tomorrow, would your current habits know how to hold it? Would your mindset protect it? Would your self-worth sustain it? Would your discipline maintain it? Sometimes the delay is not about punishment. Sometimes life is asking you to grow into the container strong enough to hold the blessing. Think of someone who already has what you desire, not their money, not their status, not their exact path, but their energy. A person who feels secure does not beg for crumbs. A person who believes in their value does not shrink in every room. A person who trusts success belongs to them does not quit at the first setback. A person who lives in peace does not invite chaos into every corner of their day. This does not mean becoming fake or arrogant. It means becoming aligned. When you become the version who has it, your daily choices begin to shift. You stop speaking from lack. You stop entertaining situations beneath your standards. You stop delaying important actions because fear is loud. You stop dressing your dreams in excuses. You begin making decisions from self-respect instead of desperation. Imagine the version of you who already feels loved. How would they treat themselves today? They would likely honor boundaries, speak kindly to themselves, and stop chasing people who are unclear. Imagine the version of you who already feels abundant. They would probably manage what they have wisely, appreciate what is present, and believe more opportunities are possible. Imagine the version of you who already feels successful. They would keep learning, stay consistent, and act with confidence even before applause appears. This is the secret many miss. Embodiment creates momentum. Your identity quietly shapes your reality every day. It influences what you notice, what you believe is possible, how you respond to rejection, how long you persist, what you accept, and what you walk away from. If you see yourself as unlucky, life feels full of proof. If you see yourself as capable, opportunities look different. If you see yourself as worthy, your standards rise. You do not need to become someone else entirely. You need to uncover the stronger version already within you. And yes, it can feel uncomfortable at first. Growth often does. Acting with confidence when you once doubted yourself can feel strange. Saying no when you used to people please can feel unfamiliar. Staying disciplined when you once procrastinated can feel hard. But discomfort is not always a warning sign. Sometimes it is evidence that an old identity is losing control. Do not wait until you feel ready to begin becoming. Readiness is often built through action. Start small. If you want peace, create one peaceful habit today. If you want abundance, become responsible with what you already have. If you want love, practice loving yourself in the ways you expect from others. If you want success, show up consistently before anyone notices. If you want confidence, keep promises to yourself. Little actions repeated daily send a powerful message to your mind. I am changing. I am becoming. I am no longer available for the version of me that stayed stuck. There will be days when old thoughts return, days when fear whispers that nothing is changing, days when reality looks the same. Keep going anyway. Identity shifts often happen quietly before results become visible. Roots form before fruit appears. Remember, you are not trying to trick life into giving you something. You are becoming the person naturally matched to it. So if you are tired of waiting for external proof, let this be your turning point. Stand taller now. Speak better now. Choose better now. Protect your energy now. Honor your standards now. Show discipline now. Carry gratitude now. Walk like someone who knows their future is being built by today's decisions. Because the version of you who has it is not living in some distant tomorrow. That version is created in the choices you make today. And the moment you begin becoming them, life has no choice but to start responding differently.